So if everybody wants to move into our neighborhood, talk to us.
It's proposed plans for this vacant site at the corner of 8 Mile and Losser that has some neighbors in the area speaking out.
We don't need another gas station right here.
This is where, as a developer, if you fail to get in front of these residents and present your plan, gain their feedback and support based off of making sure you lay out the plan where, hey, look, this will be a gas station, but maybe it's in a different format in comparison to what we're used to, in order for us to allow for the community to feel a little bit more comfortable and confident of this proposed plan. If not, these are the same individuals that are going to be showing up to their city council representatives, and they're going to be putting their foot down, letting the city council know that they're not happy with this particular direction of where this site is going. Without those conversations, usually the city council will side more so with the community than the actual landlord. So here's yet another example of why it is extremely important to fold in community input early on in the process of potentially redeveloping a site. Here's a site over on 8 Mile and Losser here in Detroit that once was a CVS, but the landlord wants to now convert it over into an actual gas station. But the community does not want to see this site as a gas station, primarily because there are a ton of gas stations that align 8 Mile here in the city of Detroit. And so the community is like, nah. But what's interesting about this site is that it's already zoned in a format that allows for this landowner to convert it into a gas station. Let's jump into this story. I think it's an interesting one.
Not in my backyard. It is what some neighbors in one area of Detroit are saying.
Here's the reality. We're going to see a lot of buildings in this similar layout and design come on the market due to the fact that CVS has just announced that they're going to be closing a majority of their pharmacies, if not all, across the country. And the city is littered with these types of properties, from CVS to Walgreens, at one point Rite Aid. Unfortunately, these pharmacies that once were king of the hill when it came to prescription medication and convenience stores and things of that nature are losing the battle to the larger format entities such as Meijer, Kroger, Walmart, Target. And eventually we're going to get to a point where there are going to be options from even Amazon to have your prescription mailed to you. And there is in turn no need to go to a pharmacy to pick up your prescription, because with the infrastructure that an Amazon has, you can get your prescription placed, and potentially, depending on what time you went to the doctor and they uploaded your prescription need, your prescription is going to be at your door later that day via mail, right? And so unfortunately, a lot of these types of buildings are going to be coming online, and landlords of these types of buildings are going to have to figure out what to do in order to convert them into something that can allow for them to continue to make money from their investment.
About a proposed gas station in their community. Pollution, loitering, crime. Those are just some of the issues that the group of neighbors say they fear becoming a reality if a new gas station opens near their homes.
Yeah, that proposed gas station would be at the corner of 8 Mile and Losser. One city agency says it could.
Extremely busy corner. There's a McDonald's right behind this. And just in general, there's a lot of traffic at this corner as is. And so to add a gas station here, I could kind of understand where the community is coming from, at the very least from an increase of traffic and concern of such, and having a bit of a concern about that is definitely warranted.
Could be a plus for that area. When neighbors I spoke with today are saying, not in my backyard.
So if everybody wants to move into our neighborhood, talk to us.
It's proposed plans for this vacant site at the corner of 8 Mile and Losser that has some neighbors in the area speaking out.
We don't need another gas station right here.
This is where, as a developer, if you fail to get in front of these residents and present your plan, gain their feedback and support based off of making sure you lay out the plan where, hey, look, this will be a gas station, but maybe it's in a different format in comparison to what we're used to, in order for us to allow for the community to feel a little bit more comfortable and confident of this proposed plan. If not, these are the same individuals that are going to be showing up to their city council representatives, and they're going to be putting their foot down, letting the city council know that they're not happy with this particular direction of where this site is going. Without those conversations, usually the city council will side more so with the community than the actual landlord.
Arthur with the Berglasser Community Association and neighbors representing several community groups say they're concerned, on edge, learning the current owners of this former CVS, Atland Development LLC, has plans to turn the site into a gas station with a drive-through restaurant.
Now we know people.
That might also have people a little concerned. It's a gas station, that's one thing. Drive-through restaurant, now we're talking about a double whammy when it comes to the access of traffic at this site.
Another gas station right here. Across the street. There's one across the street. There's Sam's Club right there. And then one on Aitenberg.
These neighbors say another gas station is not what they want nor need in this area.
The neighborhood's coming back now. You look all over Detroit.
They claim they're proposing other options for the site.
We've had community engagement asking, what do we want to see here?
You got to show up as a developer. If they're having these community engagement sessions, you need to be talking with the actual community face to face. Otherwise, messages can get lost and you're not able to potentially propose and lay out your plan as best as possible, so the community can hopefully get behind the concept that you're wanting to execute.
Gone from a grocery store to another pharmacy to a 24-hour daycare. So
a grocery store or pharmacy, unfortunately, that's tough to do, right? And there is also a grocery store or few that align 8 Mile as is. And so a small format grocery store with just groceries from a business standpoint could be challenging because, as she mentioned, there is a Sam's Club down the street. There are other grocery stores on 8 Mile that people can gain access to. And the benefit of a gas station is, yeah, the gas is bringing somebody to your site. You typically don't make a lot of money off of the gas sale. You make more money off of the convenience items that you're providing, which can be groceries like chips, bread, things of that nature. But a standalone grocery store at this site would potentially be challenging to do. Very thin profit margins, cost of inventory is high. It's not a business that is easily profitable where we're talking about now.
there are people that are engaged and want to see anything except a gas station here.
On the other hand, Detroit's Building Safety Engineering and Environmental Department, or BSED, determined the owner's request for a gas station with a restaurant is permissible here. In a notice back in April, BSED said the proposed business would benefit the 8 Mile corridor. It said the redevelopment would increase and stimulate adjacent property values.
Even though the neighbors are not too happy about this, it sounds like the location for this proposed gas station is already zoned as such, where this is permissible. This is allowed to happen without the need for getting it rezoned, which could make it harder for the community to slow the process or to stop this process of converting it into a gas station. But what if you have the community that boycotts this gas station? That could definitely harm the business. The community still has a say. No matter how you feel, no matter what the scenario is, the community still can slow or hinder this process in one way or another.
In Detroit, every time you turn around, they're putting a liquor store or a gas station in our neighborhood.
I will say that Detroit has done a pretty bad job in the past when it comes to zoning and the allotment of the number of liquor stores that they've allowed in our community in the past. I just can't understand why there are so many liquor stores that align our commercial corridor. Speaking on liquor stores, the city of Detroit has 382 liquor stores. Although the Michigan Liquor Control Commission estimates the city's population would only support around 214 stores. We have a gluttony of liquor stores throughout this city. Now, when it comes to gas stations, it looks like we're at 1,282 gas stations in the city of Detroit. So do we have too many gas stations? I don't know. Do we have too many liquor stores? Absolutely.
We don't need it.
LB Dunson is a member of the neighborhood patrol in this area. He says neighbors will continue taking a stand.
If he opens up against our will, the chances of us boycotting him and picketing is great.
So I'm hoping that the property owner at 8 and Lasser starts or continues to engage with the community, helps them understand what it takes in order for them to even attract a potential tenant to that site. It's really hard in 2025 to make commercial pencil out. And if he has a potential tenant that is ready to move into this site and allow for him to in turn be able to profit from his land, and this land is already zoned to in turn allow for what they're proposing, it may be hard to stop what this landlord is pushing through with the city in terms of converting this site into an actual gas station. But the community still has a lot of power, and I think this is one of the biggest things that landlords and developers continue to underestimate, the voice of the community. But what are your thoughts on that site being converted into a gas station with a drive-through food restaurant? Are you familiar with that West Side location, 8 and Lasser? And what are your thoughts on the community being able to stop this landlord in their tracks potentially and hold them up from even executing on their plan and vision of converting that site into a gas station? Let me know your comments below. I'll see you in the next video.